Hi everyone, it's Anjanette from AJ's Personal Touch. How are you doing? Inside, I can take these off now. I was outside for a minute and needed to see the people in front of me. I'm nearsighted, so I can see things closer up and not farther away. Anyway, I am here to show you what I gave away in my first giveaway. Um, this is going to Lisa the Grammy Scattered. And I'm hoping that my husband will be able to take it to the post office sometime this week. Today is Sunday, the 6th, but he is working a lot this week. He's working overtime and extra, and they're short on people. And like I've said before, his job that he's doing right now is security at the hospital. He's been doing it for quite a few years, but he was working two jobs, and unfortunately he's no longer with the other one because of decisions that our school corporation had made. They outsourced his job area, and from what everybody told him, he made a smart decision by leaving at the beginning like he did. We don't know what all's going on, but we're done. So he's done with it. He seemed to be a lot better rested, I guess is a good word for it, even with working the extra hours at the new job. But um, right now they've been having him come in even more. So I'm not sure how much it's going to last. He was part-time. They started giving him full-time hours because they had them available. And he's been working, um, which money-wise is needed. But I just am keeping a close eye on him because I want to make sure he doesn't get like he was and working so much that we were afraid that he would physically get ill. So, didn't really mean to go there, but with that said, that's just a little bit of a more snippet into my life. Um, I wanted to show you what I have boxed up here for Lisa. I have everything ready to go except for I haven't wrote the little note that I like to put in with them. Um, I can't wait for her to get it, so I really, really want him to send it out soon. I'm going to be done with the baby gift that also has to go out and needs to be out in a timely manner, so hopefully that means that he will get it out like in the next couple days. I've shown you guys the cocoon that I made, and the baby was born at 8 pounds, and I want to be able to make sure that he can use it and enjoy it for a while. With that said, let's get on to this box of yarny goodness here. It's only a couple things because I can't afford much more than that. But you guys know that. The first thing I have in here is a big twist. I was going to say a big skein of big twist, and I got caught on my words. Big twist, this is navy blue, and a very pretty navy blue. They screwed up my order once when I ordered black and sent me. I've actually ordered more since. So this is 6 ounces, 380 yards. This is 100% acrylic. I like the feel of Big Twist. To me, it's softer than Red Heart Super Saver. I've never used Karen 1 pound, so I can't compare it to that, but I can compare it to Super Saver, and this is definitely softer to me. And I've never had any complaints from anybody from stuff that I've made from it. Um, it takes a 5mm crochet hook or 5mm knitting needles. It is the worsted weight. So, and I don't know how to read all the symbols and stuff they put on it, but it is machine washable low iron. Do not bleach, do not tumble dry, and dry clean, dry flat. Um, like, I don't know if any of you watch Bitch and Stitches. I know she hasn't been on for a while. I'm kind of concerned about her. Um, she always says when it says do not bleach, why would you want to bleach beautiful yarn? Even if it's a solid color, why would you want to bleach it? Varsity Navy. That's actually the name of it. There's that. There we go. I'm in one of those moods. I'm actually in a pretty decent mood today. This is my third day of exercising. I got up and exercised, and it was easier today than it was yesterday. And my daughter came over today and cut my hair. So if you saw the pictures that I put up on Instagram when I took out my hair and it was just so full of curls after using my hair bun wrap slash curler. I'm gonna have to have some kind of have you guys name this for me because I don't know what to name it. Maybe one of you guys can help me with that. I need to do a separate video on that, and I'd like to do like a contest and give something away, but I really don't have anything to give away right now. No, to get on with this giveaway, the next yarny goodness, big ball of ice cream, big scoop. Isn't this just gorgeous? I am so in love with this. And I do have some here for me. Um, this is called Tutti Frutti. It is a size 3, um, 5 millimeter crochet hook or 3.75 millimeter knitting needles. It's 10 ounces. 10 ounces of this wonderful yarn. 284 grams, 117 yards, or 1,022 meters. I originally bought, I have 2 more of these here, so I bought 3 of them. I bought them in a 3-pack, I think, to get a better price. I want to say I got it off of Walmart.com, maybe. I can't remember if I got it off of there or if I actually got it on Lion Brand's site. It was one of the two. But I got the bigger pack because I have a friend who, because of her pain condition, she's in and out of a wheelchair. And she's actually been walking more now. I had originally gotten it to make her a lap pan or a wheelchair blanket. They're basically about the same size. Um, she decided that she had somebody upset her or hurt her, and she decided that she just didn't have time for new friends. And so I really don't hear from her anymore unless I happen to see her on another site and comment or happen to see something she posts. I decided, well, if she doesn't have time for a new friend, and I mean, I was literally there for her for a lot of stuff, even though we were brand new friends. And I considered her a really, really good friend, and it hurt me deeply. She told me that she didn't have time for any new friends, and that was including me. Um, so I was like, well, I guess I don't need to take all the time to make her a blanket. And I hope that doesn't sound harsh. I cared about her so much. And I was so excited to make this blanket for her. And then when she did that, it just hurt so badly. And at first, when I looked at the yarn, I couldn't even look at it. I had to put it away. But now I am so in love with it again. And I am going to make baby blankets or loveys because I really don't plan on making a lot of baby blankets anymore. But the 2 that I have will make a lot of loveys. So Or if I change my mind and decide to make a baby blanket, that would make a gorgeous, gorgeous baby blanket. I have to finish the ones that I have started first. Here, I'm looking how it is. I found some old hair accessories that originated like around the 80s or 90s, and I still have, and I still bought up until the time I discontinued them. They're those combs that are like, instead of opening and closing together, they're meant to go together and they're rounded. So yeah, I pulled everything. Anyway, um, get this little baggie, which I love the zebra print. And there's some little goodies in here. There's some different teas. There's the lip balm that I had gotten from my Lion Brand order when they sent me a replacement bag, which I know I didn't come on here and show it to you guys, but it was a lot of the stuff that I had already shown. Um, I got one that is actually closed, and so I'm putting that in here. Like I said, quite a few teas. Pull them all out. A couple like stash. This one is from Trader Joe's and it does not have the ingredients on it. So if you're watching this, Lisa, if you need to know what all the ingredients are, I can get them off the box for you and give it to you. I was going to write it and put it in my note, but decided I wouldn't do that unless you wanted them. If you ask me for them, I'll give them to you. But this is a ginger turmeric um, herbal tea, and I love this. When I get a stomach ache, I either reach for this or I reach for my regular just ginger, plain ginger tea. And depending on how bad of a stomach ache it is, if it's a mild one, then I may also reach for my peppermint tea. I drink peppermint tea a lot because I love it. So for actual stomach aches, most of the time I reach for the ginger or the ginger and turmeric because my body's used to getting the peppermint, and it's so good. And I love peppermint and spearmint mixed together. To me, that is just amazing. Anyway, there is the little um, notepad where you can list what's actually in your project, and then you can like fold it up and put it inside of the yarn that you're using. So it is my project ingredients, and it does stick. I didn't realize this before because I had a pack that was all messed up. And I went to remove the top sheet to throw it away, and it is a sticky note. So these are sticky notes. Like I said, I didn't realize that before. So besides, you don't, a lot of people are like, oh, we'll just fold them up and put it in the yarn. That's what just made it go, poof, wait a minute. You can take it and you can like stick it onto the pattern. You can stick it on somewhere in the bag that you're using or whatever as well. And then I had the pins. I got another set of pins besides the ones that I showed you. Plus, I know I have another set somewhere else from when I got my crate. What else was in here? Oh, some clover. Um, I don't do well with the plastic ones, but I know some people do. So I'm hoping that you're one of those people who do. I hated to see them just still sitting here in the package. So I decided to send them on to somebody who can hopefully use them. That is that little package. Now for what I consider the best part of this whole giveaway box. Oh, no, 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 wait. Let's wait for that. I forgot. I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. There's the calendar, which everybody knew. Which originally it was just going to be the calendar, but I was like, no, I have to give more than just the calendar. There's the calendar, which I have flipped through. previously. So if you want to see what all the crochet goodness is in this calendar, well, first of all, here's the back of it. But if you want to see an actual flip through of it, I have done that on a previous video. If I remember, I will try to link it below. And then here is a notepad. And I am so in love with this notepad. I have a couple of them. It's got like a thick paper top. So it's one of those ergonomic, and I think it's it's made out of recycled paper. That for what I consider the best in here, and I wish I could use it, but I can't. It's too soft for my hands. It takes all the moisture out of my hands, and I didn't want to ruin the yarn because of that. This is called Chunk. Name for it. It's Uru.yarn by Knit Crate Chunk, and the colorway is porcelain. And what is so pretty about this? Look at this. It's pretty like beigey porcelain color, and then I can get this close enough for you to see. There is a thread that runs through here that has there's a dark thread that must be the base thread of when they made the yarn, whoever made the yarn. And it is just gorgeous. It is simply gorgeous. When I first got this, I thought of over dyeing it, and then I'm like, no, this is a gorgeous color all on its own, because that dark thread just gives it such a special element to it. And I would love to see how it works up. So Lisa, when you make whatever it is that you make out of this, you have 2 full hanks, because this one is a full hank. I just wanted to cake it up to see if I would be able to work with it. They did have another, I don't know if I said what size. This is super bulky. I didn't give you all the specs. 82% merino wool, 18% Peruvian Pima cotton, super bulky, 109 yards per 100 grams. This will make such a gorgeous cowl or hat or both. If you use if you find a stitch that you can make both out of both of them. I had another one. It wasn't their chunk, but we got this. This I got the very first year. I think it was like in the 2nd or 3rd month that I was in, I think, Knit Crate. It was my first Christmas with them. This past Christmas was my 2nd Christmas with them. And we got at the beginning of fall, I think. No, it wouldn't have been this last Christmas. I think it was like last January. We got another one that was thick, but and soft, very soft. Another one, it was taking the moisture from my hands. But when I caked it up, it didn't take as much out of my hands as this one did. I was able to put a little bit, like a lotion on here and there, not so much that I would have to keep my hands lotioned up to where you could feel the lotion. You know what I mean? So it's continually, like going in, which is what I was afraid I'd have to do with this one. Even though I do, for yarns like this, I tend to use Silicone Glove by Avon. My mom has been an Avon rep for a long time. And Silicone Glove, if those of you have never heard of it, it's been one of their well-known hand creams, and it's been around for a very long time. But it's made to put a protective layer on your hands. So love to get it who are gardeners. I'm just going to move this box my way now that I've been through everything. I'm just chatting for a minute here, but I don't want it to fall. There we go. Fortunately, I'm going to have to leave it in that box. I don't have any bigger boxes anymore. Lisa had um, bone. I'm off on another squirrel. I mean, I'm off on another subject. Lisa had told me, oh, you can always cut down a larger box, but to me, that's a lot of work. And with having issues, especially in my chest still from the problems in the joints in my chest, and it's still hard to breathe. They're still inflamed. I knew I wasn't going to be able to cut a box down and then cut down the sides and make it so it can fold over and do all that. So I'm just going to have to switch the yarn, which I didn't want to do, but I'm going to have to because I have not gotten a bigger box yet. I do have an order coming in today, but I fear it's going to be a bag. It's coming from Amazon. So I'm pretty sure it's going to be a bag. But anyway, back to what I was saying. Silicone glove, it puts a protective layer over your hands. So like when you're gardening, yeah, you may still get dirt and stuff under your nails, but if you don't wear actual gloves, it protects your hands. So then when you come inside and you wash them off, it's like just all that dirt washes like right off under the water. If you use just running water from the hose, it would just all like nicely wash off and you don't have all that extra little dirt all over your hands because it literally puts a protective layer over your hands and you can feel that layer there. Um, I mean, not to where it feels bad. You can tell that it's there. So I used that. First, I moisturized my hands as well as I could, and then I used that to hold the moisture in. Um, and, I made out of the colorway I had, which actually, the colorway I had is right here because I forgot my headband is in my bag. I made the Outlander Cowl by Trish loves this yarn, and then I took, I believe, the same pattern that she used for the cowl, and I made myself a matching headband to cover my ears, which I didn't think. The cowl itself is so big that when I put it on, I can pull it up over my head. My grandma used to always say when she wrapped her shawls or whatever around her head, she was wearing her babushka. I should look it up one of these days. I've never looked it up to see what that means. So when I was going to an appointment and I did that, I told my husband, "Yes, I've got my babushka." And here, if I'm afraid I'm going to look up the word and it's going to have nothing to do with with wrapping your head up or anything. It's just a word. I don't know if my grandma made it up. I don't know if it was an old Belgian word because on my father's side of the family, we have Belgian heritage. On my mom's side, we have German. Um, and my grandma, I believe, was Belgian as well as my grandpa. My grandpa came over from Belgium when he was 17 years old. And when he came over, he lost all of his hair. Well, most of his hair. My grandma said, well, that's when he lost all of his hair. Well, all of his hair that he lost. That's when he lost it. He had the type of hair that receded back, and then you have the bald spot that goes around, but you still have like the little, well, no, it's totally bald up here, and then your hair goes around. I just thought my grandpa was the most handsome. And then, ironically, when he had cancer and he had to go through some light chemo because he was old enough that they really couldn't give him really hard chemo, I guess. I was too young. I didn't understand the difference. Um, they couldn't give him the exact chemo that they wanted to give him because they were afraid that that would kill him. So they gave him a lighter version. And he did, I know it was really hard on him. I was in high school at the time. Um, I feel bad I didn't get to visit him as much as I wanted to. I was just so busy with all my extracurricular activities. Like in the video the other day, I was in swing choir and we had a lot of performances. So there were lots of nights that we had performances. They were they were week night performances, most of them. Sometimes they were on the weekends. And when they were on the weeknight, we had to go and do our performance and then go home and do our homework and get to bed. And plus, I had a job on top of that. So, yeah, um, I tried to go and visit him as much as I could. It always seemed like whenever I had a weekend off, that was a weekend of a performance. And that's why, I got it off. And I felt so terrible when he did pass away because I didn't get to spend as much time with him as I wanted to. And I know that happens a lot in life, to go through that and learn it at a younger age. By the time this grandpa I'm talking about had passed away, I had already lost my uncle, who was one of my favorite men, um, and then my cousin Lori. She had just graduated out of high school. She was on her way to work one day, and nobody knows exactly what happened. The guy who was in the car behind her said she swerved her car. Um, he thought she was avoiding hitting something, but he never saw any animal or anything. But she swerved and lost control of the car and went into the ditch next to she was going on to she was on an on ramp to go onto our bypass, but she wasn't on the big on ramp that goes like around in a circle. She was in one that you turn on and then you basically go straight and join on. Um, and the one that my parents always told me, when they were like, "Oh, this is the easy one," and when you start driving and stuff, this one's not as hard to navigate as the other one, but you have to pay attention with both, and all that. I was only in sixth grade, but I used to ask a lot about driving. And anyway, she lost control of the car. The car rolled. She was not wearing her seatbelt. Um, to look at the car looked like it hadn't been through anything, an accident or anything. But Lori had injuries so bad they had to close her casket. It was really, really, really hard. She was my other grandpa's favorite of his nieces, and they were really close. She used to come over and see him all the time, and that's why I got to see her a lot because we lived right behind my grandparents. We built on an acre of their farm property. And so anytime Lori came over, my grandpa would say, "Oh, Lori's coming over. Do you want to come up and visit?" And my mom would let me go up. And so I got to see a lot of Lori. And then it was just really sad. I felt very, very close to her, and that was a hard one. And it was like right after she passed away, that song "Think of Laura" came out. Oh, rough. Anyway, after that, within a year, my grandpa had passed, and that was not, again, not expected, but he died of a massive heart attack. He woke up one morning and had a massive heart attack when he was going into the bathroom. So, um, so yeah, that one was rough, very, very rough. I used to feel bad because I had, my favorite grandparents, but I loved them all. I loved my dad's parents just as much as I loved my mom's parents. I just got to do more when I spent time with my mom's parents because we would go out and do fairs and go to, and do different things. My other grandma, um, she had five sons, and they had a very tiny house. They didn't have a lot of money. My other grandpa, I mean, they didn't have a lot either, but he was a farmer. He had more acreage. He he had more than my other grandparents. My other grandpa, he worked in a factory and he worked very hard. Um, but we used to go over there and stay on the weekends because my parents, they took us to one grandparents or the others every weekend and they went out and had fun and did whatever they were doing my whole entire childhood. Um, I didn't have anybody to do that with when my daughter was born, which was fine. I would have rather spent time with my daughter than to send her to her grandparents. Um, but anyway, uh, whenever we went to my other grandma's, my other cousins would be there most of the time. And so I didn't get to have a lot of one-on-one time with my grandma, which I would have really loved, or with my grandpa, but that was fine. I had my cousins, I got to play with them, and I got to see them a lot. And, later in life, I really missed it because things die off. And like now at Christmas and everything, we don't see our extended family, and we used to see them all the time. So, and once we hit a certain age, my parents, my mom, more than my dad, stopped wanting to see and go to and spend all that time with family, especially my dad's family. Don't know what happened. Something somewhere happened. I don't know what. But we were all there for my grandma after my grandpa passed. Both of my grandmas, because like in sixth grade, I lost Laura, and then I lost my grandpa in sixth grade. And then my other grandfather got sick when I was in high school. So he passed away when I was in 11th grade. So it was just, I dealt with a lot of death in my childhood. Before my uncle, who I was close with, passed away, another great uncle passed away. He had played Santa Claus, and I was in fifth grade when he passed away. Um, I was in band, and I'll never forget. I was sitting in band, but we were waiting for the instructor to get there. And, we ended up hearing over the loudspeaker that he wasn't coming. He had called off that day for us to sit tight in the room. That so much of the class had gone by before they realized he wasn't there. Class would be over in about 10 minutes. So just sit tight. They could see the door from the office. So when the bell rang, we could go on to our next class. Two of the boys stuck out and they ended up in the gym and they went into the boys' locker room and they saw my uncle having a heart attack. He had been there that day. It was Christmas time. He had been there that day and he was playing Santa for the kindergartners and had a heart attack. And he didn't make it. The newspaper article was really, really sweet and nice and said that he passed away doing his, favorite thing. But they came in the room, they told us what they saw, and then I just burst out into tears. And everybody's like, "Whoa, what's with her?" Aren't you old enough? Did you realize there's no Santa? Which to me, I believe in the spirit of Santa still. So I was like, no, I'm like, you don't understand. That was my uncle. And then they were like, oh. So, and that was just hard. And it was like fifth period, and there was six periods in the day. So they called my mom, and she was like, no, she can stay at school for the rest of the day. It's almost over. It was just a rough day. But anyway, this is about prize packages. It's not about all of that. Um, tangent I got on talking about babushka. I am going to have to look that up as soon as I get off of here. So I will post this, but for right now, I'm going to make it private. And as soon as I know that Lisa has gotten her box, then I will make it public so you guys can see what she got. I don't want to break her surprise. I want her to be surprised when she opens the box. I know it's not a lot, so I figured the element of surprise can at least make up a little bit for that. So I hope you guys are having a wonderful weekend this weekend. It It's still halfway decent out today. Yesterday was up into the 70s. Wow, for this time of year. It's back down in the 40s today, so I do have the front door open a little bit. My husband left for work and left it wide open, and I'm sitting here going, "Brr." So I did shut it some. I have my jacket that I had on, but I took it off when I came on film. So I hope you're having a great weekend. I hope when I post this, you guys are doing well and everything. And remember, you matter. You matter to me. You matter to so many people, and you may just not realize it. If you're having a bad day, just please remember that you matter. And also remember that no matter what, you are gorgeous. You are beautiful. And if you happen to be a guy watching this, you're handsome. Which guys can be beautiful and gorgeous too. But I like to add that in there. You're handsome. So I would never call a woman handsome because some of us don't take that in the good way that it might be meant as. So anyway, catch you guys later. Hopefully I will be taping again tonight because I will have my movie done. I can't get it done if I don't stop this and get to it. So I will talk to you later. Have a great weekend, and I will be back with you soon. Bye.